Matt Jernigan, a candidate for Tullahoma City School Board in the upcoming August 5th election. A little bit of background: I've lived in the Coffee County area all my life and moved to Tullahoma about 12 years ago, but again have lived in the Manchester-Tullahoma area all my life. Really over the last year, dealing with the COVID pandemic and a parent to 3 students of the school system really sparked my interest and really the importance of the local leadership position. So when the school board opportunity presented itself this year, I decided to become a candidate for school board. I have an interesting background, former currently inactive CPA license holder, so I have a background in accounting. I actually worked for Householder Artman and Associates here in Tullahoma about 16 years ago, and have been with Ascend Credit Union since joining them in 2005. So again, accounting background, business exposure as well. So I feel like these are skill sets that are obviously needed on the school board. I think most Tullahoma residents would be surprised to realize that almost 40% of the operating budget for the city is actually funding school operations. So it's a very, very important aspect of really every taxpayer. I think as parents, we obviously know the importance of the school system with our children, but really as taxpayers, property owners, and myself as a business person, really knowing that first or second question that I'm going to get from a potential candidate relocating to the area is about the quality of the school system. So it really is a resource for our community. It helps us to recruit industry, executives to the community, so it's very important from many aspects. I'm not going to be the candidate that claims I know all the answers or have all the solutions. In fact, I'm looking forward to learning a lot if I'm fortunate enough to be chosen for this position. So I bring really an appetite to learn more about the public education system and contribute what I can, again, from a business acumen standpoint. You know, when I think about the resources and operations of a school system, it really comes down to, I think, to 3 components. It's the curriculum component. So obviously we want a strong curriculum for our students that's preparing them for what awaits them after high school graduation. And certainly that has to be a diverse path. Not every student is intended to be a 4-year college graduate in the future. And that's one thing I've been very proud of the Tullahoma school system, offering a diverse program and curriculum along those lines. So curriculum is very important. Certainly our teachers. I think every business owner right now recognizes the just incredibly competitive recruiting climate that we're in. So being an attractive employer to top quality teachers, I think is going to be, it's always been important, but it's going to be even more so in the coming years, as I think it's going to be a very competitive employment market. So those resources, and then finally our capital resources. When you look at schools, the facilities, I think we would all agree Tullahoma has some aging facilities on the school side. So maintaining those facilities so that we're not in a very expensive cost of replacement of facilities in the future. So it's going to be very, very important to manage our facilities very diligently, because those are taxpayer investments, and we need to be very mindful of how we manage those investments. So those 3 components really interest me from the operation of the school system. I think I can bring value and leadership in all 3 of those areas. One of the things too, I think from my experiences at the credit union, I have a strong background in understanding board governance. So the school system right now is very lucky to have Dr. Stevens, who is to me a very strong leader of our school system. So I want to be a valued resource to her on the board, and I want to bring, again, a solid understanding of corporate governance, to know that we're there to support her, certainly lead from a policy standpoint, but to certainly empower her and enable her to be the best director of schools that she can be as well. So I think speaking of curriculum is very important. We want a curriculum that challenges our students, but then again recognizes, you know, there is a wide variety of student excellence, high performing, and then those that obviously they may have a little bit of a gap. So a curriculum that is very responsive to the student produces a pathway for every student. Most importantly for me as a parent, though, is to have a a safe learning environment, a learning environment that is free of disruption for our high-performing students. We cannot kid ourselves, either as parents or really even community members, that every student has the same desire to be in the classroom. So how we minimize those disruptions of students that may not have quite the desire to be there as some other students, and really giving the support to our teachers that, again, they're not dealing with classroom disruption, that they're able to spend the time they are in the classroom educating our students and not, again, dealing with an inordinate amount of disciplinary issues, and empower them, again, to be the educators which is why they took the job. They want to be educators. They want to lead our children. Certainly, I've been very blessed to live in this community. I've been given a great opportunity at Ascend Credit Union to be a business leader in this community. And given the nature of our business operations, we are a service organization and recognize the importance of serving this community. So I really just appreciate and humbled to receive your vote, and just, again, another opportunity to serve the community on the school board is really what I'm looking for.
Okay, I'm Teresa Lawson, running for school board. This is my fourth consecutive run for the position, and I have so enjoyed every minute of every term, and it's been an honor to represent the citizens of Tullahoma. And I guess first what I'd like to talk about is what I'm involved in. I've been a member of the maintenance committee, or building and grounds, for most of the time that I've served on the board. And now seems like we're making a lot of progress, and we've recently had our buildings, our facilities evaluated. We've got some recommendations and priorities of what's most necessary that we start, but we've already started in other areas. I know that we have some capital projects that'll be coming up. I'm experienced with that. I was on when the building of East Lincoln Elementary School, and the high school auditorium, and the football stadium. So I was a part of that. And I just think that I have the background and the experience to oversee other capital projects. I know that at the moment we've got several smaller projects going on. We're especially at East Middle and Bel Air and Farrer, and then we will later hopefully be addressing the high school, some of the needs there. At East Lincoln, at the moment we're working on, or I'll say maintenance, I'll say we, but we're working on East Middle, the softball state bleachers and sidewalks, to make sure that they are ADA compliant, and more room, and spiffing those up a bit, and in East Middle as well inside, because it's been quite a while since we've had any type of updates, and so we've been working there, as well as Bel Air. Another, I guess you could say, main focus of mine is the CTE program, which is the Career and Technical Education program, and that's where we look at how all of our students are not on the same path. They're not on the path to college. We may have some on the path to college. We may have some that have more of an interest in the technical side of a career, and then those that will just be going out into the workforce when they graduate. So we have to have them as ready and prepared as possible. And my background is, well, first of all, I guess I could say I have a master's degree in marriage and family therapy. I worked with the state of Tennessee, which I'm retired. I was a social worker, and then I was a manager for a rehabilitation center for the state of Tennessee, assisting those with disabilities to prepare them for the workforce, and that's both the physical part as well as the soft skills. and interviewing. And we do that at the high school now. That's being done now, and I've been a part of that. I've helped with the interview process. And so we need to also look at our community and how the what we have in place now that we can partner with the industry and different workforce forces, and so that we can best prepare our students for whatever track that they have an interest in pursuing. And okay, let me see what else. Let me touch on a little bit on the role of a board member. The role of a board member, I've learned through the years, is number one, we policy development, oversee policy changes, we review policy, and that's how the school system is run. So we oversee policy, and next is the budget. We oversee the budget. We have been very fortunate that we have had personnel in place that have done an excellent job and been very fiscally responsible with the money that is, I guess, just very fortunate, and also our partnership with the city board and the citizens. They're so supportive, and we're so fortunate, and the students are as well, because that provides us an opportunity to provide smaller classrooms for the classroom size for the students, technology, and so forth. So we're very fortunate, and we have such a wonderful community, a wonderful city board and community and workforce that, like I say, that we partner with. Also, the third, I got off a little bit with that, but there's the policy and the budget, and lastly is the superintendent. We hire and supervise the superintendent. And we have our different committees that we're on, like mine is the maintenance committee. I've also been a part of the superintendent relations committee, and I've been on the policy committee. Other committees throughout my tenure have changed, and but my primary focus has been on maintenance and our CTE program, because I want every student to be successful, and if that's college, if that's the technical school, or if it's just local workforce, whatever they're pursuing, that's my goal, is to make sure that they're the best prepared they can be. And I think, well, in personnel, I can speak a little bit about personnel. We're very fortunate to have a wonderful, wonderful staff and teachers and administrative personnel and leadership. And my goal is to ensure that we continue to recruit and retain those excellent teachers and staff and administrative leaders. So I can't think of anything else that I would really, really enjoy, and it would be a privilege to continue to serve Tullahoma on the school board, and I appreciate everyone's vote. Thank you.
My name is Andy Witt. I'm running for Tullahoma School Board, and I would appreciate your consideration for vote. About my background, I'm a Tullahoma native. I went through the Tullahoma school system, starting with Bel Air Elementary, West Middle School, and Tullahoma High School. After I graduated from high school, I went to the University of Tennessee, through Motlow first, and then to the University of Tennessee, and then went out into the professional world. I lived in Nashville for a number of years and worked at Ernst & Young, and then I decided, after my first child, Elizabeth, was born, to move back to Tullahoma and raise my family here. I went to work for Swerdrup Technology, which later became Jacobs Technology, and then worked there for 13 years. And from there, I got a position at Jack Daniels as the controller. During this time, I have 3 children. All 3 have gone through the Tullahoma school system. Two of them have graduated, my two oldest, Elizabeth and Caroline. My youngest, Sarah Wallace, is a sophomore at Tullahoma High School right now. So I've seen multiple levels of the Tullahoma school system. My wife herself is a Tullahoma high school graduate, and so we have a lot of deep connections to Tullahoma. Why I'm running for school board, and I break it up into three basic components. The first is community. As you can tell, I left Tullahoma at one point, came back to Tullahoma. One of the reasons why I came back to Tullahoma was because of the school system. That love of community and the strong school system is what makes this community so great. I want to continue this school system in its great performance and to carry it on into the future. My second point really is education. I'm a firm believer in education, and I think that is the way you transform lives. I personally have gotten my bachelor's. I've gotten a master's from Middle Tennessee State University, and I also have a doctor of jurisprudence from Nashville School of Law as well. So I personally value education a lot, and I think we need to instill that in our children. And that's really the the how of my program. It's the what of my program is education. The how comes through infrastructure. I think we need to have great facilities for our children. And in Tullahoma, we do have some good facilities. We've got others that are older, and we need to look at opportunities there, either to replace or to refurbish in some way. My current position at Jack Daniels, and also when I was at Jacobs Technology, I do operational budgets and I do capital budgets. I look at long-range capital planning and capital budgeting. And having this long-term focus on in my career of equipment and facilities we need to replace, I think will be a huge advantage to the Tullahoma School Board. And with that, I would like to have your consideration for your vote for Tullahoma School Board.